Actually, that's no matter how hilarious it is a valid point that I consider when I look at a megawatt. If it doesn't even try to have some sort of justification for the setting and the player being here and killing demons, I kind of lose interest in it, because gameplay, I could always go play like Tetris for ultimate gameplay challenge.
Yeah.
But in Doom, I liked the original Dooms in a big part for the atmosphere, and I'm kind of looking forward to that in anything I play. Okay.
Well, yeah, I think you can quite easily craft a very simple story that only takes, a couple of minutes to think up, and write for that matter, without, necessarily taking the same model as Doom 2. In fact, that sounds like a pretty obvious thing. So, yeah, although I don't think one should expect too much out of a story when it's not going to be necessarily that important to most people, at least make it different than, what it always tends to be.
I don't even care if it's just pretty much the same story used. I just want to have an excuse for why I am here and doing what I'm doing. Basically, to associate with my character a bit more, as if it's some kind of weird role-playing game or something. Still, I just kind of want to do that.
Do you expect that out of all map sets, or just the larger ones?
Pretty much out of all. I don't really care usually about single maps, contrary to what it appears, because I praise Linus's maps so much, and they're pretty much single maps usually, the big ones. But I usually, well, when I am thinking about it, I am usually thinking that I want a big, wholesome megawatt, which is, well, big, but then I don't really care enough to play through one. But still, I don't know. Even in small maps, I guess sometimes I can just kind of avert my eyes from this issue, but when I am seriously considering like browsing screenshots and such, I am really actually paying attention to what people say about, what the author says about, is there any story at all intended to be. And I'm kind of strange to expect that in Doom for me, but I guess, as we said multiple times, you can afford very much to be picky in this community, so that's why I get away with that. And of course, I don't really want to play that much in the first place, so it's not like I have to constantly play new maps. Yeah. The funniest part of me and stories is that the Doom abstraction, for my Z-Doom thing, I actually ended up coming up with a story explanation of why everything is so abstract, not just the demon influence.
Wow.
Like
that's pretty dedicated.
Yeah, why everything is like, I don't know, even if you go deep enough, I guess you can even find the reason why, like, the books on the bookshelves are aligned in the same way, like for the textures, why is everything so pixelated and such. It's there's a map which you go through it and then you return back to the entrance where the exit actually is within key, and the entrance area lost a lot of detail while you were playing, so when you return back there's a lot less detail in there. And that's
well,
like,
I would say don't create mysteries where none exist, but I suppose it's not an unhealthy exercise. I say with some pinches of salt.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, I'm actually making some progress here. I stopped paying attention when where did you come from? Started talking, but god damn it, another one. But apparently I'm actually killing people and getting to new areas, which is always nice.
I feel like Tarsman actually plays a lot better when he's concentrating the least. When he's talking non-stop.
There was the thread about the Doom playstyles where he mentioned the shovel thing, and I think I sort of understood that more.
Yeah, that was an analogy that we both worked on. Tarsman was trying to think about what sort of analogy we could give to him playing a Doom map, and I suggested that he was very much like a shovel, just plowing into a tunnel of dirt.
I sort of understood, but not really, because I cannot really believe we're discussing this of all things, but shovel doesn't really do much of a trek through anything usually when you dig. You just kind of, unless there's stones, you can see the short shaft there and you can hit a stone, and that's maybe part of the analogy. But what I was more thinking when you were speaking about it was like when I don't know if you'd be even familiar with the concept of shoveling snow with where you're from.
Yes, I have to do it every other day in winter when I lived in Canada.
Okay.
Unless, I guess we're not talking about it literally.
Well, But when you have these wide shovels which just kind of drag along the ground and drag all the snow with it, you can hit some little thing and it's just kind of stops and then it tracks completely, and that's what I... But then you mentioned like getting through a slab of dirt and I was like, what? How do you use a shovel to get through a slab of dirt?
Right. Yeah, because I mentioned it last time. It's all coming back to me now. Yeah, last time we were streaming.
Okay, and once again, I don't want to say I'm lost because I haven't really made an effort to explore yet.
Discovered a secret that I didn't know existed. Wow.
It wasn't even marked as a secret apparently. Ooh.
No, that actually happens a lot in Doom 2. There's a lot of secrets where, you know, it's almost inevitable that you'll stumble into it, and you sort of wonder why. Why is that tagged a secret? And then there are things that are so well hidden, and that it's not.
Why am I saving over and over? Actually, that's, well, not really has to do with the specific thing that you talked about Doom 2 there, but I always thought it was interesting if it was worth marking secrets, like when you... Like that famous soul sphere in A1, M3 where you see it, but you don't know how to get to it. If it's worth marking those types of secrets as secrets, I mean, you wouldn't miss the fact that it's there. So you don't need the counter to tell you that you didn't pick it up. And I'm wondering if people should only mark secrets as, I mean, mark places that you don't even know exist as secrets. If that would be interesting.
That's an interesting thought. Jez actually posted one way about going about marking secrets that I actually quite liked. It's for areas that are super secret, like more secret than secret. They're actually they feel a lot more special if they're not so much secret at all. Because, you know, you might go through the map, get 100% secrets and think you found everything, only to, you know, if it's a map with any replayability, go back through it, you know, for a third or fourth time, and then suddenly stumbled upon something that you didn't know existed. I guess for people who are like wanting to get 100% completion for real, including those that aren't marked secret, you know, discover everything, that could kind of piss them off. But
those people can go eat a ham, I guess. I don't really sympathize with people. I mean, I try to make it possible to like kill everyone.
Antroid, can I quote you on that? I don't really sympathize with people.
Well, feel free, even take it out of context. I don't. I admit freely that I usually do not. But with people who moan about being able to 100%, especially on the first try. Ooh, nice.
Yes, you noticed it. Yay! Woo! I was gonna have to point it out if you didn't.
Ha! Fat chance.
The Causeway. This is the only. This is a map by Townsman.
Why? Oh man!
It has the into Sandy City music.
Oops.
It's the only map that does. Again, it was one of those times where we figured, you know, if he wanted to use this track, he simply would have used this track.
Yeah, there is no reason to follow the exact same order of music.
That's right.
I actually thought that you might as well have changed the intermission texts a bit. Just maybe the same story told the slightly different words for some reason, because it would have been interesting for a while. I mean, when I was first playing the Doom games, I was not only looking forward to learning what each new map was, I mean by name, I was also very much looking forward to reading what stuff the intermissions would have told me, and if you guys have changed them, sort of a similar feeling would have occurred, but I guess it's not really a big deal.
Yeah, again, it was something that we thought over a lot as early as, you know, when we were starting off Doom the way it did, the first project. But I don't know, I think in the end, particularly because that was so successful a community project, we just wanted to focus on, you know, studying the maps more intently, and we didn't really devote enough time, or didn't really devote enough time to thinking about what else we might potentially change. And so we just settled on, you know, just leave it as it is. Although we did, now that I think about it, we did have Mr. Freeze create some custom music, although it was very, very late in the development of the game, and so there was some issues with communication between us, and so we actually ended up releasing it without the music intact, which some people weren't in approval of. I personally like the music, and I wouldn't mind to have it, you know, included. I'm not sure if Hellbent had anything to say on the matter, because he wasn't really around at the end of it, honestly. But I think most people just sort of agreed that it wasn't quite as well produced, at least on the team, as
Yeah,
nice
I
as it
remember
could have been.
playing some early version of Doom the way it did and thinking that the music was a bit more generic and less memorable than the
Yeah.
original. So I didn't have a problem with removing it at all.
So this map is clearly most like downtown. Townsman tried to render it as different as possible, or not as different as possible. If that were the case, it would be a completely different map. But tried to keep it as elemental as Sandy would plausibly do. But he added in the gimmick of the way in which you progress through the map, which is across this little bridge in the middle of it, the titular causeway. And every single time you collect a key, the monsters on the other side will well, things will happen.
Ooh.
I shouldn't really say it since you're still playing the map. I don't know how much you dislike that.
Also, I am not really sure about the word. Does causeway actually mean anything? I don't really know that word.
Causeway is like a sort of path that leads over or alongside a waterfront.
Oh, again, interesting.
Or a road.
Learning.
I think Sandy and American in particular had a lot of fun. Actually, no, and Romero had a lot of fun with their names. Some of them really weird. I mean, we all know about the Gantlet, which guesses it's you. And of course, Gantlet could be...
It's just an American version of the
Gauntlet,
word.
or it could be train tracks. And then there's the Focus, which means... I mean, you've thought about this extensively because you, of course, were working on Doom 2 in name only.
Mm-hmm. I just looked up Wikipedia at what that word could also mean, and I picked the one that could have been made into a map. There we go, my secret is revealed. I'm not actually that clever. I don't know many people... I mean, I know many people think I'm some sort of genius, but honestly, not that much. Okay. Up. Nothing happened. You're just withdrawing any sort of comment to my claims of being smart or otherwise. Politely. Thank you. Arg! And here you can see how good I am at making decisions.
You let an arachnotron get you.
I certainly did. Squeeze through people who shouldn't really be that tall. Oh well. Better run away. There's certainly some... I don't remember if the original Doom 2 sandboxes had this element. Probably downtown only, from what I remember. This element of the map being quite a bit more populated with monsters that you can really be arsed to handle, and you could just try to run away behind buildings and shit, hide from the onslaught.
Well, certainly this map has a heck of a lot more monsters than downtown. Again, I think it was... Townsman was just trying to make a difference somehow, while keeping the basic idea of, you know, stuffing different ideas into buildings. Of course, downtown was populated by arachnotrons on the ground floor, and that was it. Nothing else.
There was revenants in the
go
windows,
into
I think.
buildings in order to counter monsters.
There was definitely
but,
revenants in the windows.
As you'll discover in this map, the way in which the monsters populate the map is directly tied in with the way in which you progress through it. So that was just another way in which Townsman was trying to make it different from downtown.
Well, to notice that, I actually need to once again return to my strategy of paying attention, which I at some point almost stopped doing. Okay, this... oh boy.
Hey! Woo!
That looks sinister.
This area is cool. So there's actually 2 red keys in this map. And one of them you can't collect because it's purely for show. And that's the one that you just saw.
Interesting. Oh, I was under the impression that these sectors were damaging, which apparently was just a couple specters there. Cool.
Hang in there, Antroid.
Oh, I will. Don't know if it's gonna do me any good, but okay.
And there we are. So, Townsman's idea was thinking that, oh, Sandy would have thought, well, the player sees the red key, but then all of a sudden, the floor melts, and the key gets dragged under the ground or something and appears in a different cave.
Actually, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I would have noticed if you didn't say that it was a different key. I would have thought that it was just a clever setup of things closing and reopening and making a different layout around the key, so that you still pick it up. Because you cannot see them both at the same time, I don't think.
Right.
And that's cool, kind of.
The reckoning, I guess, is that Sandy would have, you know, chosen the easiest route in order to go about making an idea work. So for him, just having
much easier to
keys
do,
seemed
yeah.
like a more plausible thing.
Yeah, or he would have asked Romero to program a teleporting red key like in Doom 64.
That's
Though it
true.
was blue in
That's true.
64, but still. Okay, now I have a red key, and that's very awesome because I don't remember where anything red was apart of the place where there was two colors of
About the
bars.
secret maps, are you going to spend any time trying to find it, or are you going to take a look when you've completed the map normally?
I do want. Well, I probably will not manage to find it on my own, but I request some hints. I want to find the exit with or without help to see how the exit is done and play them in this place and not just after playing everything else. So, is there a way, I mean, is there a point past which I cannot return back to the secret exit? Or can you always get it?
No.
Alright, so then if I don't find it by the time I finish, feel free to pretty much spell it out.
Actually, I'm going to have to very, very quickly take a look myself, because it just occurred to me, you asked me that question, I realised, do I even know how to get to the secret exit? So I'm going to have to take a very quick look here. And in fact, I'll open up Doom Builder. I can reverse engineer it by looking at the tags.
Good idea! Meanwhile, just kind of stumble around. Stumble? Yeah.
Stumble around, bumble around.
Bumble, fumble, whatever, humble.
Alright, so there's the secret exit. That is a door. Congratulations, mate. Alright.
All these pointless back alleys here with nothing in them. Ah. Okay, so that was just the auto map. Once again I'm running down some water in a big open space. It's a lot like that one second city map. Okay, I hear something going on.
Alright. Okay, it looks like I've figured it out. It's relatively simple. And if you get stuck trying to find it, then...
Yeah, first I need even to find the freaking normal exit. Oh boy. Columns. I used to be deathly afraid of areas, especially if they were dark in the original game, in this NES version, of areas like near the end of the toxin refinery or whatever from episode 2, where it's dark and there's a lot of columns. Because every step you take there could be a monster at any side, and that's just so uncomfortable.
Yeah. And Tarsman probably just can't help himself as soon as you hit that switch.
Oh,
I really like that reveal. Oddly enough, there's actually quite a few moments in both Doom and Doom 2 in which monsters are revealed not facing you, giving the player, you know, a lot of opportunity to think about how he's going to encounter.
I remember someone writing somewhere in the forums that every monster that you see facing away from you doubles the choices you have before you. You can try to run away, you can run around, run away, you can try to, well, just fight them normally, you know. It sounded almost like the person was advocating placing all the monsters facing away just so the maps were that much more interesting. But in here it just kind of feels like they were a bit late with their lowering down and they're just standing here. Wait a second, where is he? We set up this amazing ambush and he's not even here. Surprise, motherfuckers, I'm behind you. And I still suck at the BFG as much as I always did. Oh well, at least some people died. That's a horrible thing to say. Damn it. They're not really people.
Well, there are quite a few people who just don't know how to use it. Doesn't matter how many times they're told how. Not saying it's you, Antroid. Or am I?
I'm not sure I even really... Whoa. Cool.
Oh, hello, 10.2 Redux. Back for more, the sequel.
Suddenly a lot of sprites.
I love the decoration span here. Sandy did it occasionally when you think of that one room in Monster Condo with all the wood and blood. And tons of skulls on poles and bodies hanging from the ceiling.
It is effective when it's not done in every room ever. But when you suddenly stumble upon a room which has a lot of... I'm going to die.
Yes, I agree.
A lot of corpses like that, it's kind of even maybe a bit freaky for some people. if they are impressionable enough, I guess. Gah! Ah! Oh, hello. Everyone's already there and just panically shooting. Oh boy, yellow key.
Great success.
Awesome. Now, if I remember correctly, there were the yellow and red bars somewhere, and that might be the normal exit. So let's even just kind of go and see. What's the point of the bridge if you can just kind of fall down here and climb on the other side? Okay, now to find the freaking bars again. Probably here. Oh yeah.
So you're about to get to, I believe you're about to, yes you are, crate room version number 2.
Oh, wooden crates. That's
we were
cool.
thinking about, of course we noted the crate room in map 10, as you did. And we were thinking about, you know, where are the crate rooms in Doom 2? I think there's one in map 4, there's a couple in the second episode, there really aren't that many. But there's actually one in map 12, which, and all the crates are made of ick wool, which is really strange. So Tasman said, okay, well, I'll play with that idea and I'll make them of wood instead.
If only I knew
So
what
here's
inkwell
the
was.
wood crates.
I don't really know the texture name so well. Is inkwell the grey squares like this one, or is it the blue, the black
The
thing?
equal is, yeah, it's like the grey walls here, except they're divided into lines and they have green slime on them.
So there you have it, another texture which is named quite nonsensically. What's inky about it?
Icky. Oh, like sick. I don't know.
Huh. Icky.
I think ick
is
is
it
a word
icky?
for
Oh, inkwell.
disgusting.
I was hearing inkwell for some reason, like ink what?
Make it happen.
Ooh.
Ooh, delicious.
Did that ever happen in the original games? I don't think it did. I don't remember.
I think it did, but not to that extent. In fact, I think Townsman may have responded to a post that pointed this out as a bug, and he said, I'll fix it. We didn't get around to it.
Surprising. Give it there. Okay, I should aim better.
Keep trying, Antroid.
I want to see. Yeah, it's definitely possible.
I
There's
think
some.
we tested all of the jumps to make sure that we could get across them without strafe running.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I wonder if it's a good idea to, even I don't know. Obviously in modern maps, people are free to do whatever the fuck they want. But if it's a good idea, if you're making something even vaguely classic, the exit? No. If it's a good idea to have stuff that requires strafe jumping, strafe running, jumping. Because I mean, people probably know about it, but still, yeah, this room's pretty cool.
This room is so sandy it hurts.
Doesn't really hurt, but okay. At least in here it makes the lighting thing contrast makes a bit of sense because there's fire, and it even pulsates, so that's cool. Just randomly some corners up there are on fire. I can dig that.
This room features via that switch another kind of mini, very easy to figure out sandy puzzle in the vein of the shipyards and map 9. Yeah, very simple. You just have to walk off it and then it starts raising. There you go.
Yeah. Oh boy.
And I might as well tell you now, that switch that you just hit, that's critical for the secret exit.
Should I have been able to see something happening when I... Ooh. Pressed it?
No, I fear that if you did, it would have been a little too obvious.
Could have been something really subtle, maybe in one of the windows make it really dark, but still kind of, if you catch it, you could have been able to see something like in one of those black windows. But
Possible.
I guess it's fine.
I think Industrial Zone, I think that featured a switch that opened up a door that you don't see.
Honestly, Industrial Zone, to this day, I don't really remember how to get any exit, so I just kind of blindly go through it and usually actually end up in the secret one. Kind of the same with A3M6, I think. I don't remember, in the PC version, does that map also have the secret exit, or...
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, okay, because
it has the one that it intended you to rocket yourself into there, like blast against the wall, but most people just strafe from.
Because I remember there's a level or two in the SNES version that had Or level 2, what I'm talking about. Episode 2 Secret Exit was shifted from one map to the other for this NES port. And I was wondering if Mount Erebus was also shifted like that, but that's the one I don't think I ever actually exited it normally. I may not even know where the normal exit is in that map. And same with Industrial Zone, I guess.
Yeah. I don't think you're alone there.
No, yeah, I don't think either.
I think that, yeah, I think certainly in Tartan's case it's been a heck of a long time, many years before since he's gone to the normal exit in E215. In fact, I think he doesn't even know how to get there.
Yeah, this seems a bit more dangerous than anything in Doom 2 again. Although I can always jump down here, like a bolt.
It does, although you were given an invulnerability, and there's that one part in Suburbs where all the monsters come out, teleport in, and you're not given the invulnerability immediately, you have to kind of run over there to get it. So, it's, yeah, I suppose it's a bit more difficult, but not too egregious.
Well, I guess not. I guess it's forgivable to have to die a couple times before figuring stuff out. Because, I mean, that certainly happened to people the first times through Doom 2, so why not? There's a good balance to be had between having the exact same difficulty or slightly higher to replicate kind of same effect on players when players are a bit more experienced now.
A lot of community members gave positive feedback for the fact that it was, they felt a little more difficult than the original. Although it's always difficult to gauge whether it's actually the case, since we all know the original Doom and Doom 2 back to back, at least most of us do. So it's always going to be easier.